Minister, rather than the plebiscite which you're proposing, I tabled a piece of legislation looking to alter Article 10 of the Constitution. Very simple line that said that the water supply cannot be sold into private ownership. And it was ruled out of order by the Ceann Comhairle using a standing order that was never meant, a new standing order that was never meant to be used in this way. And I wanted in the Dáil to criticise the Ceann Comhairle for his actions, which I believed were repugnant to good parliamentary work. However, I was told by the Ceann Comhairle's office that there's another standing order that means I'm not allowed to criticise the Ceann Comhairle for anything he does. So obviously, because I'm not allowed to criticise the Ceann Comhairle, I won't suggest that he's acting contrary to the good working of the Parliament, but we could have a very interesting conversation if he wasn't protected by that very interesting standing order. So I resubmitted it as Amendment 2 to this bill, and it was ruled out of order. Now, they couldn't use the previous standing order, so a new standing order was used to rule it out this time, which said that my bill, which seeks to delete a provision, or my amendment, which seeks to delete a provision of the bill, doesn't speak to the provisions of the bill, and there was an additional technical reason because a bill that changes the Constitution can only concern itself with changing the Constitution. But I tell you, whilst some of these rulings may be technically correct, as members of Parliament, and certainly I, as a member of the Oireachtas, feel that when I am trying to do the work of Parliament and table legislation that I believe in and that the people I represent believe in, I and we are dealing with an apparatus and a set of rules that seems dedicated to stopping us having sensible parliamentary conversation. And there seems to be a body of work that needs to be done to change the standing orders of this House. Now, you're a member of Cabinet. I certainly feel, I had 4 amendments tabled for this evening, all very sensible amendments. 3 of them have been ruled out of order. I had 1 ruled out of order, which was looking for a reduction in charges for people that have no wastewater treatment facilities like in Arklow, which would have reduced revenues to Irish Water. I had that ruled out of order on the basis that it was a charge on the Exchequer. Now, how Irish Water not getting extra money from Arklow as a charge on the Exchequer is beyond me. But I did a count, and there's 31 amendments tabled by members of this House other than yourself, Minister, and over half of them have been ruled out of order. And Deputy Naughton, in daring to suggest that a may should be turned into a shall, also can't be discussed by Parliament because that would be a charge in the Exchequer. I know, Minister, you've nothing to do with ruling these out of order, but you are sitting at the Cabinet table, and it is impossible for us as members of the Oireachtas to conduct proper parliamentary business when faced with a set of rules which seem dedicated to stopping us conducting parliamentary business. So maybe you could raise at the Cabinet table that these standing orders need to be changed to allow us to do the job of Parliament here. To the substance of the change, look, I have no doubt that you as a Labour Minister would act against any privatisation of the water supply. I have no doubt that that is the case, right? So the question is, why do I and why do other people want to move beyond a plebiscite to a constitutional protection? The reason is this. A, the public don't trust the plebiscite because legislation can be changed. And B, we don't know what's going to come from Europe. So we saw the letter from Jean-Claude Trichet to the late Brian Lenihan. And what did it say? He demanded structural reforms. ECB acting completely beyond its mandate, he demanded structural reforms. 4 weeks later, the first MOU was signed, and there were 2 structural reforms in it. One of them was that the Irish people must be charged for their water. So you can be absolutely sure that there is a view in Europe that the Irish water system should be privatised. So I accept your bona fides. I accept that you would not vote for privatisation of water, but I do not believe for a second that a future Irish government isn't going to come under very serious pressure from Europe, and potentially legally binding pressure that says, your plebiscite is all well and good, but actually here's the new EU directive, you got to privatise your water supply. So, Minister, my question to you is this. If you are dedicated to the Irish water supply never being privatised, and if the plebiscite does not provide the guarantee that's required, then would you explain to the House what the downside to a referendum is if it achieves what you claim and what I believe you want to see? Thank you.